Right guys, welcome back to another episode of Forex Fridays. This is episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So starting off on the daily time frame on GBP USD, nothing much has changed since it is a longer, higher time frame. So straight away highlighting our level of supply, it will be the same place where we placed it from last week, as we haven't really broken any sort of structure. I say that because if we look closely, you can see that price created this low and this high over here. So unless price can eventually break this low or come up and break this high, our level of supply will remain the same, because we're not forming higher highs or higher lows at this point. Currently this will be our swing high point, and unless we can break this low, our level of supply will be maintained at 1.25400. Okay, so dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, this is where things have developed a lot more. And so if you can look straight away and identify the trend, because structure is very important, you can see that this will be our most recent swing low point, because we're currently on the 4-hour time frame. We're in an uptrend, and unless we are able to break this low over here, we will maintain a bullish bias on the 4-hour time frame. So highlighting this level of demand zone, you can see that price did come back into it, and we saw some sort of weakness with a bit of a reaction up before it started holding at this level of supply over here. As you can see, once you can see that there was a failure of supply being broken, you see a huge push down, taking out these lows over here, as such forming and changing the trend of the overall market on the 4-hour time frame. So currently on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we're going to be bearish until this level of supply over here can be broken. So currently we are retesting that level over here, and so definitely in the coming few days it will be important to see if we can get a push down as such, or if we start respecting this old level of demand we've drawn out here and get a potential push up over here. It's more likely that we can respect this level of demand and see a push up, because this sort of level over here is more of a manipulation, as we saw a huge volume pushing market down, then a huge volume pushing market right back up again. So there isn't really sort of any sort of stability in this type of price action, and so it's better to look for this move up coming in the next couple of days. So that's GBP USD. If we break this down to the euro, which is also in confluence and in correlation with GBP USD, on euro USD it's a bit of the same story again. You can see that price has been failing to break this low several times over here, which does show early signs of maybe a reversal and a bullish trend up. However, we can only react to the market and not take trades in a predictive manner. So currently you can see that this would be our swing high point. Price did again break through this low over here. However, again, I classify this as manipulation, because we get this sort of triangle formation where we see a huge push down and then a push right back up again, showing that this is just some sort of noise and it's not something to take into consideration. So if we're looking at it in more of a macro perspective, you can see that this will be a swing high point, this is a swing low point, and until we can break this level, we're going to be in a bearish trend. So once price did come back and react off of this level, from this level of supply over here, as I can highlight for you guys as such, you can see that price did come back up into the level of supply before pushing back down, and you can see that finally we've seen a break of this low from this impulse down. However, since we have not broken the overall spike down, because if we look at this on a weekly time frame, it will make a lot more sense. So looking at this on the weekly time frame, you can see that we saw a huge bearish candle and then the bullish candle engulfed it. So really and truly, looking at this will be our low point over here, which price has been respecting and closing above. And this is the first week where we're seeing a bearish engulfing closing below this week, below this wick over here. So on the daily time frame, to summarize, unless we can see a break below this level over here, we're probably going to push right back up into this level of supply. So it's very important to see. However, overall we are on a bearish bias and we can look for sells. So now dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, again, not a lot has developed because we have been stuck in this sort of range where we failed to break below this low and we're failing to break above this high over here. So we've really just been in this range for that whole entire week. However, focusing more on the macro perspective, we do have this level of supply over here which has been respecting and holding, and this is our low over here, which unless we can break this, we're just going to be in this sort of consolidation move over here. But if we do zoom in, we can see that we was in a mini uptrend. If I draw it out for you, we can see that we've broken these highs over here with a retracement back down to these sort of levels over here, and then this is where we start getting consolidation and weakness for that push up. However, as you can see, we failed to break above this high over here. So you can see price has failed to break above this high and failed to break below this low. So at this point, we can consider this sort of range over here as a consolidation range, because we're not really seeing any higher highs or higher lows being formed. However, eventually, as you can see, we did get that break. So you can see now we're starting to see higher highs and higher lows getting formed, and we saw that break of this low which started a consolidation zone, and you can see that currently this would be our level of supply over here. So unless we can break this level of supply, we're in a downtrend. This is our overall major high probability level, because this is the one which started this whole impulsive move to the downside. Because if you was to compare the move, comparing this move to this move, you can clearly tell that this level over here would be a much stronger level than this one over here. However, it's important not to just disregard this level of supply over here, because there could be some good opportunities to take sales once price does come back up to this level. However, if we do break this low again, as I've highlighted, we can then look to reevaluate and highlight our level of supply again. So overall, even on the euro, we're in a bearish trend. Moving on to euro JPY, starting from the higher time frame. Looking at the daily time frame again, this was the same level I highlighted from the previous week. So this level of demand will remain as is because we haven't broken above these highs. As you can see, we've been respecting these highs, nor have we been able to break this level of demand. So everything within this range over here would just be considered a mini trend as such. However, we can only look to reevaluate if highs are broken or if lows are broken over here. So on the daily time frame, we are bullish and we are holding this sort of swing low point, looking to see if we can potentially get another push up over here. However, currently you can see that price has not really been able to make higher highs at this point. So overall, we are bullish on the daily time frame on euro JPY. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see a bit more of a zoomed in version of what's going on. Looking at a zoomed in version, you can see that this level over here, the opposite candle in an uptrend, is our level of demand, which has been held several times. So you can see that when price did come back into this level, it gave us a nice beautiful reaction. However, we was in a mini downtrend because we broke this low, and this was our swing high point over here. So it's very important to understand where you are in price and in market. So overall, even though this is our strong level of demand, this level over here is also a good level to sell from. Why? Because we've broken this level of structure and we're forming this little mini downtrend, with this level being our high probability area to look for sales. But in the overall grand scheme of things, this is our level of demand where you can look for buys. As you can see, eventually we did get a break of this level of demand, so now everything changes. So now even on the 4-hour time frame, we have now become bearish, with this level over here being our level of supply. So most definitely, as you can see, price is already making its way back up into this level of supply to see a good reaction off of this level. At least I can see a reaction off of this level back into this level of demand, and what happens afterwards depends on how price starts reacting with this level. If we have huge volume at that time, we can definitely start forming new higher lower lows. However, if this level does hold, you could potentially see a reversal back up in confluence with the daily time frame of being bullish. So it's definitely something you need to react to and not take trades in a predictive manner. but as of right now I can definitely see price coming back up into this level of demand, into this level of supply, sorry, seeing some sort of weakness before seeing a push down to at least this level of demand over here. Coming on to gold, everyone's favorite commodity. So again, from the daily time frame, nothing much has changed because this is an overall higher time frame bias. This will be our level of supply, which has been respected for several days. So we are bearish on gold, and with this being our low, unless we can break this low, which we have failed to break again on the 1st of July, we are going to continue our bearish bias with this being our level of supply. So we are bearish on the daily time frame, dropping this down to the 4-hour time frame. Again, not the cleanest of price action, as you can see, a lot of exhaustion happening as such, so not the cleanest of price action. However, you can see that we was in this sort of bullish trend, with this being our level, with this being our swing low point. However, it's important to look at the macro scale of things, and you can see that overall, and I also pointed this out last week on my episode 1 of Forex Fridays, that this was our level of supply overall in a bearish trend, but we was in a mini uptrend from this point over here. So you can highlight these two levels of interest, and until one of these breaks, you can take buys or sells based off of these levels. So once price comes up into this level of supply, you can look for sells, and once price comes back into these levels of demand, you can look for buys. But you need to understand that this level over here will be a much stronger level compared to this level of demand, and that is because of the higher time frame bias we have. So once price does eventually break this level, although it wasn't the cleanest of breaks because you can see a lot of choppiness happening, we do eventually break this level, retest it, and we form this lower lows formation over here. So overall, we are bearish on the daily, on the 4-hour time frame as well, with this level being our level of supply, and you can see we already got a reaction off of this level. Again, I feel like we can get a bigger reaction off of this level on gold to maybe potentially fill in this imbalance created over here. So overall, again, I'm bearish on gold on the daily time frame and on the 4-hour time frame as well. Now the last pair we're going to go over is the US 30, the indice. Again, on the daily time frame, we can see that we are also bearish from this level of supply over here. Now you can see that there is a huge gap for price to get back up into our level of supply before we can capitalize, and that's exactly why you need to highlight all of these levels on all time frames. So you can see that overall we are bearish on US 30, but we have mini structure forming right over here. The reason I've highlighted this is because we are in a downtrend overall, but in a mini uptrend on even on the daily time frame as such. So even on the daily time frame, you can look for buys from this level until we get up to this level of supply before you can look to short the market. So this is more of a longer term perspective, dropping down to the 4-hour time frame. As you can see that this level of demand has been respected even on the 4-hour time frame, which we highlighted on the daily time frame as well. So this was a trade that I managed to take as well, and I also showed this on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to check out the description. So this was a nice trade which I was able to capitalize off, and you can see that even though that we are bullish overall, we are in this mini downtrend over here with this level of supply being a strong level, and you can see that price is currently failing to break through this level of supply. So this is why it's important to highlight both sides of the market bias and understand where take profits can be potentially taken. So if I was to highlight this level of supply and demand, so you can see that taking buys from this level of demand and taking profit at this level of supply would have been a very good trade, especially on lower time frames if you could get very tight entries and stops. So again, what I can see happening, price is showing us some signs of weakness over here, so we could get some sort of rejection off of this supply over here. But overall, since we are on a bearish bias, I would look to see price coming down, especially from this level of supply highlighted over here at 3,290. But overall, I can see price maybe rejecting off this candle to then form higher high formations to come back all the way up into this level over here before we get a reaction. Since this level of demand is pretty strong, I can definitely bet on this level holding compared to this one over here due to higher time frame bias. Okay, so this level of demand is stronger than this level of supply, so overall I'm predicting that price can maybe give us a reaction to see an overall break to the upside as such over here. So I hope that was informative for you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like, make sure to drop a comment on any other suggestions you guys may have, and I'll see you guys next time.